We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. It's Thursday, June 14th here in Seoul, June 13th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin and you're watching News Generation. Today we're joined by Choi Ji-hee. Good morning. Good morning. And Im Sang-yeop.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Now both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. Now as usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending online over the past 24 hours. We begin this morning in Japan, where concerns are rising over streptococcal toxic shock syndrome, or STSS. According to the country's National Institute of Infectious Diseases, there have been 977 cases of this potentially fatal bacterial infection this year as of June 2nd. Now, this is nearly 3 times higher than the same period last year and already exceeds last year's total of 941, which was the highest ever recorded using the current data collection method. STSS primarily affects people in their 30s and older, with patients at risk of developing limb necrosis and organ failure. Now, moving on to China, Fubao, the 3-year-old giant panda who was born in Korea's Everland, met with the public for the first time after moving to China more than 2 months ago. Dozens of visitors and international media outlets gathered on Wednesday as Fubao walked into the yard of her enclosure at the Ulongshan Shuping base in Sichuan province. After exploring and sniffing around, she was seen enjoying her favorite bamboo shoots. Now, to ensure order around Fubao's enclosure, the China Conservation and Research Center for the giant panda will control the number of visitors and limit visit times to 5 minutes per round. Finally, now to Korea, where a magnitude 4.8 earthquake struck Busan County in Jeollabuk-do Province on Wednesday morning. While no casualties have been reported, this is the strongest quake detected in the country this year. The initial quake was followed by at least 17 aftershocks, the strongest of which registered a magnitude of 3.1. In response, the Ministry of Interior and Safety raised the nation's earthquake alert to the 3rd highest level in its 4-tier system. Now, residents reported feeling the tremor, describing it as resembling an explosion. The earthquake caused cracked walls, broken windows, and caused items to fall from store shelves. Now, people outside the county as well, even as far away as Seoul, said they experienced their buildings shaking. So here in the studio, I know that you guys both live in Seoul. So did you also feel the earthquake? And it seems that Korea, it seems to be experiencing frequently more earthquakes than in the past. What do you think?
Actually, it's a bit embarrassing to say this, but I was in a deep sleep when the earthquake broke out yesterday. And I even turned off my disaster alarm, so I didn't know the earthquake hit Korea until I saw the news in the afternoon. So for those viewers out there who are ignorant about the natural disasters like me, I gotta warn you that Korea is no longer safe from such incidents. Yes. In fact, there have been a total of 24 earthquakes that go beyond the magnitude of 3 for the past 3 years, according to the Korea Meteorological Administration statistics. And the earthquakes usually occur around the ring of fire that encompasses the east coast of Asia all the way up to the west coast of North and South America. And Japan is located on this ring, which is why the country has been experiencing large earthquakes for the past centuries. The Korean Peninsula is right next to the ring of fire, making us relatively safer from those earthquakes. But we cannot let our guards down, as you know. Korea can always face those earthquakes with large magnitudes, like what we have just experienced yesterday. So I gotta say that we have to be ready for those kind of big strikes.
Right, because I looked at the videos and the photos yesterday, and it looked really frightening. So I think that's kind of like the last thing that I would like to experience. So hope everything is well for the people of Busan who experienced the earthquake. Now, what about you, Ji-hee?
Well, Sang-yeop, you don't have to be embarrassed because I was also deep asleep.
I was the only one awake.
Yes, you were the only one awake working too. Well, I didn't feel the earthquake, but I did see footage of it. Cars were unable to be controlled on roads, and these surveillance cameras showed the roads shaking as well. And the recent event has definitely raised significant concern and awareness because earthquakes are relatively uncommon in the country. And we've we've been experiencing small and large earthquakes more often in the past few years, which really indicates the need to improve our preparedness and resilience in case of any similar future events in order to reduce and minimize casualties and damage. So for example, building codes, public awareness and education, and infrastructure resilience should be established slowly but steadily, because we're not safe from earthquakes anymore.
Right, I think we should definitely remind ourselves, like safety protocols when earthquakes happen. For example, when you feel the tremor, go under your desk and like find safety routes, exits as well. And that was our news feed for this Thursday. So moving on to our main discussion for today. Today is the second episode of our two-part series on Central Asia in light of President Yoon Suk-yeol's state visit to the region this week. So on Tuesday, we learned more about the region, Central Asia, and today we're going to focus on Central Asian culture that we can experience within Korea. So to start us off, Chi-hee, could you first tell us how big is Central Asian community here in Korea?
Sure. So the Central Asian community in South Korea is relatively small still, but it's been growing over the past few years. So as of the most recent data, the number of people from Central Asian countries, this including Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan living in South Korea is estimated to be in the tens of thousands. And to be specific, we have some detailed numbers. So as of 2022, the largest number of Central Asians living in the country are Uzbeks, and followed by Kazakhs and Kyrgyz. So about 80,000 Uzbeks and 40,000 Kazakhs are living in the country right now. And many Central Asians in the country come to work, particularly in industries like construction, manufacturing, and agriculture, where there's a lot of demand for labor. And there are also students and individuals who have migrated for family reunification and education purposes. And I'm sure we'll hear more about this from our guest today.
Right, you just gave us a sneak peek, and as you mentioned, the data Chi-hee mentioned shows that Uzbeks actually make up the largest Central Asian community here in Korea. So we're now going to welcome a Central Asian Uzbek Gen Z currently living in Korea to share her insights on today's topic. She is Medina Gaiblayeva. She is an Uzbek Gen Z living in Korea. As mentioned before, she is currently a graduate student studying international relations at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. Welcome, Medina, to the show.
Hello guys, how are you doing today?
Great, we're doing great. Hope you are doing great as well.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Great, lovely to have you. So Medina, our first question for you is, this is like the most basic question. I'm sure that you've gotten this question a lot of times, but when did you first come to Korea and why?
I came to Korea first in 2021, so 3 years ago. But my journey to coming to Korea, it was a long journey because I tried to come here since 2019. But you know, that time COVID started, so even I had a visa, I couldn't come, I couldn't enter to Korea. And I came here for study. Now, currently, as you told, I'm doing my master's degree here at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. Yeah, and yeah, I'm living, enjoying my life in Korea.
That's great. That's great. Well, Medina, I've mentioned this briefly earlier, but why do many people from your country, since you're an Uzbek yourself, choose to come to Korea? For what purposes?
First of all, for Uzbek people and for Central Asian citizens, Korea is well known with its high education system, and also from the economic prospects, as you told guys earlier, it's a very robust job market issue. So the first one, why people come to Korea is mostly students like me. Korean universities, they have really high advanced education system, and Korean universities, they provide many scholarships and many programs. They have language courses, even they provide like free education for master's, PhD degrees. I'm also a GKS student, which is government Korean scholarship students. You can learn Korean language for 1 year, then you can just continue your master's degree or PhD degree. For the second part, it's labor stuff. So Uzbek people, They come here to work in industries, in some factories, and the salary between Uzbekistan, between my home country and Korea is different, and it's higher. So there are more opportunities as well as to students as well as to laborers. Yeah, I think for that one, and of course there is the influence of Hallyu also.
Okay, Medina, moving on to the next question. How is Korea generally viewed in Uzbekistan as well as in Central Asian region?
For Uzbekistan and for Central Asian region, people, Korean image is really positively. The Hallyu, which is includes K-pop, K-drama, and cinema, it's also positively for Uzbek students. Also for us, for Uzbekistan, Korea is really safety country, even for girls. So because our religion, for our parents, they don't allow to go outside to abroad to study or to do some jobs. But here, Korea, they say that it's safe. So we can stay here. We can just live our lives here.
I see. So although you're in a foreign country, parents feel safe because it's really safe to be around.
Nice.
Yes, it has higher education. I see.
No, yes.
Well, then, can you share any places in Korea where we can experience your culture, the Central Asian culture, or places that make you feel at home, maybe restaurants or any other places?
Of course, I'm really happy that I'm staying in Seoul, and there are mostly multicultural places. First of them, the Dongdaemun History and Culture Park. So you can experience and you can try the Uzbek traditional foods and other Central Asian countries. Food. Also, another place is Itaewon Place. In Itaewon Place, we also have many Uzbek cuisines where you can try Uzbek traditional foods like samsa, shashlik, plov. I don't know if you're familiar with these dishes, so you can try the experience. And beside this, we have our community here, Uzbek people, Uzbek students. We made our community, and we are conducting this community more than 3 years. And we organize the events, some traditional festivals, and you can also join this place. Or besides, in Gwanghwamun Square, when it's traditional days of Central Asian countries, they organize festivals, so you can just enjoy and try traditional foods as well.
Yeah, I should maybe visit the places that you've mentioned. Okay, so
of course.
Thanks. Moving on to the last question. So, from your perspective, what more can we do to strengthen the relationship between Korea and Central Asia?
Oh, the first issue when I just hear this question, it comes to my mind that maybe Korean government can make the visa procedures. Simplify the visa procedures, and they can also make some programs which collaborate Korean traditions and culture and Uzbek or Central Asian countries traditions, so they can maybe also invite more people here to come here and to stay and to explore, to experience Korean culture, community, traditions. I think this is the most of issue the Uzbek people.
Great. Some very insightful answers and an amazing interview. Thank you so much, Medina, for your time today this morning. Hope we get to talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here, and have a good day, guys.
You too. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right. It was a very enlightening, and we learned a lot from the interview. And I think that Medina mentioned like two of the main communities, places that we can experience Central Asian culture here in Seoul. I remember the area near Dongdaemun. So Sang-hyuk, could you please tell us more about the area, what we can experience there?
Yeah, so I think Medina mentioned about the Central Asia Street, which is located between the exit number 5 and exit number 7 of the Dongdaemun History and Culture Park subway station. So if you go to the street, you can find the vendors from Russia, Mongol, and Kazakhstan. They came to Dongdaemun area around 1980. The vendors opened stores on the street at the time, and now it is full of Central Asian culture and restaurants. So in the street, you can find more than 150 stores, including groceries, currency exchange shops, as well as restaurants that serves Central Asian food. And there are also like signs written in Mongolian and Russian in every corner of the alley.
Wow, so I think that these are actually the footages of the Central Asian Street near Dongdaemun. It seems really interesting. I really want to visit when I have the time soon. And not only here in Seoul, but I kind of heard that there are other places across the country where we can learn about Central Asia, right, Ji?
That's right. Well, back in Gwangju, the Gwangsanggu region, there's a place called Koryoin village.
Oh, right.
Where Koryoins, who are the ethnic Koreans from the former Soviet Union, live together. Now, the Koryoin term refers to those who emigrated to present-day Russia and former Soviet Union regions, such as the countries that I've mentioned before, during the period from around 1860 to August 15, 1945. That's when we found independence, in fact, from the Japanese colonial rule. And due to agricultural migration and also the independence movements and forced labor mobilization, as well as because of their relatives. Now, the Koryoin community is a vital link between Central Asia and South Korea, contributing to historical, cultural, economic, and diplomatic ties. And their unique heritage and position enables them to act as intermediaries, fostering deeper connections and cooperation between the two regions.
As we can see from the footage, if you visit the Koryoin village in Gwangju, I think that you can definitely experience both Central Asian and also Korean culture fused together as well. As Ji mentioned, Koryoin people, they are playing like a pivotal role in bridging the two cultures of Korea and Central Asia. And last but not least, we talked about places, but are there any like upcoming events or activities that we can just generally learn more about Central Asia, Sang-hyuk?
There's the National Museum of Korea located in Yongsan district, which has been gaining popularity recently among the MZers as the new landmark. So if you go to this museum, there's the dedicated wing specializing in Central Asian sculptures and artifacts. So you can learn various information about Central Asia here in this wing. There are also like many historical artifacts, and among them the most famous one is Visvantara Jataka. It is a fragment from a mural that was discovered in the southern part of the Silk Road. It shows the portrait of Prince Visvantara, who later becomes the famous Buddha.
Oh, wow. Definitely would like to go and see that artifact. If you guys, millennials and Gen Zs or anyone who's interested in visiting the museum, might want to check out that wing of the museum. Now, also, again, Ji, not only here in Seoul, because the National Museum is located in Seoul, in the capital, but are there like any activities that will or are taking place outside of Seoul?
Oh, definitely. So going back to Gwangju again, there is the Asian Cultural Center, or known as the ACC. It's a comprehensive cultural complex that gathers and researches cultural exchanges and resources from Asia and the Central Asia region. So it actually began in May, but until August 4th, the ACC provides a museum education program focused on understanding traditional Central Asian games. So if you're a lover of games, and if you are
we all love games.
Yeah, we all do. We mostly do. And if you're interested in learning about the traditional games, such as Chuko and Togus Korgul, to the Central Asians who are watching the show, I'm sure you're familiar with it. If you want to learn about these games of the nomadic peoples of Central Asia, please do go visit visit the place. I love it how our country is becoming a lot more international like this.
Right, because last week we talked about where we can experience African culture, and this week we're talking about where we can experience Central Asian culture. So if we have the time, I definitely think that they're all worth visiting in the near future. And I hope all our viewers who are watching, if you have plans visiting Korea or if you're already in Korea, please, why not take the time to visit these areas where you can experience various cultures from all around the world. And that's all the time we have for today, but NewsGen is here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks today to Chejiki.
Always a pleasure.
And Im Sang-yeop.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.